Tvarumas – tai galimybė tenkinti mūsų poreikius šiandien, neatimant šios galimybės iš ateities kartų. Maisto gamybos grandinė yra viena didžiausių taršos ir klimato kaitos sukėlėjų pasaulyje. Mes turime tai pakeisti. Auga ekologiškas maistas be kainos gamtai.
Laws connect everything. We think that to be legal advisors, we must live under the same philosophy, adapting to connect and connecting to adapt.
Oficialūs Tokijo olimpinių žaidynių transliuotojai TV3 ir TV6.
Mūsų karta pirmoji supratusi, kaip iš lėto kenkiame gamtai. Ir vienintelė, žinanti, kad dar yra laiko ją išsaugoti. Apsaugokime mūsų visų ateitį. Ergo.
Kino pavasaris. Balandžio 30, gegužės 6 dienomis kino teatruose. Didysis partneris Ergo draudimo grupė. Informaciniai partneriai TV3, 15 min, žmonės.
Labadiena, mėly kino pavasario ir 15 min žiūrovai. Šiandien džiaugiuosi sveikindama iš turbūt jau paskutinio šių metų kino pavasario susitikimo su filmo režisieriumi. Ir su dideliu džiaugsmu noriu pasakyti, kad šiandien su mumis yra į trumpąjį Oskarų dokumentinio filmo kategorijoje sąrašą pakliuvusio filmo GUNDA režisierius Viktoras Kossakovskis. So Viktor, welcome to Vilnius Film Festival, even though virtually, but it's a great honor to have you here, and thank you very much for your time that you're going to spend with us today. And I'm just going to remind our spectators that are watching now that you can ask questions in the comments, and I will really gladly forward it to dear Viktor Kossakovskiu. Hello.
Thank you very much for your time and interest. Hello. It's a pleasure to be with you, even virtually. I hope next time I will be there.
I really hope so too. But as I said previously, we're doing our best, and I think this is still incredibly appreciable, the fact that we can actually meet and we can speak about this wonderful film that the spectators just had the chance to watch in cinemas, which is again a great joy and a great, I think, privilege in the contemporary times. And I would like to start from the question which you probably get asked pretty frequently, but I think to start the conversation is quite important to start from the beginning. And I have read in one of your interviews that actually Gundos constructs an unofficial trilogy together with Aquarela and Viva las Antipodes, and it sort of finalizes this trilogy. Can you tell about the initial start for Gundos and maybe the connection with the other two films?
I hope it's not the last one. I probably will make one more film to complete this story. So, but it's happened accidentally. So, as you know, to finance film, if you just say it's a film about nature, no one will give you money, right? So, every time I start new movie and I want to say Viva las Antipodes, people say to me, "Oh, where is it? Any person in the film? Is it any human story there?" And when I say no, then they say, "No, we don't want to finance film." But in fact, it's happened accidentally. So I started Viva las Antipodes, and in the script was written about film about people who lives in the opposite part of the planet. So, but it happened accidentally that while filming that whale, butterfly, stone, condors, ship, elephants, lava, that had same value as the human stories in my film. So then next film I made actually Aquarela. One of the people died unfortunately in the film, and after this it was almost impossible to continue this film. And so kind of people disappear from my film almost naturally. I mean, from the first film, from Antipodes, it was already few people in the film. Then in Aquarela, it was almost no words. And naturally in Gunda, it was no people, no words. And I think I will continue. I will at least one more film, just to, maybe even two, just to finish this. My point of view to the world, in which I actually disagree with the idea that we are most important creatures. I believe we are not most important. I believe we are same important than any other creature, and the fact we are dominating a planet is mistake. We are making mistake by dominating and destroying everything around us, killing animals by billions and mistreating them, and this is mistake. Imagine we have new numbers just came. Imagine we killed last year almost 1.5 billion pigs in 1 year. It's just 66 billion chicken. 66 billion chicken. And plus half billion cows and sheep and goats, and another billion sheep, and few billion rabbits, and few billion ducks, and few billion and trillion fishes. Can you just trillion fish? We can just imagine what we are doing. It's just ridiculous, right? We are killing. Then we have to freeze it, to cut it, to transport it, to put in plastic, to cook it, to just. I always imagine my funeral. If I would eat, I stopped eating meat at age 4. It was disaster for my family. It was my decision not to eat it, but because I had a little friend, piglet, Vasya, and when they killed him, for me it was trauma. So, but if in average European eat 80 and 90 kilogram meat per year, and American 120 kilogram meat a year. So I imagine my funeral, and this is the great movie, actually. I don't know, animation or fiction. Like, imagine my funeral, right? And let's say I will live 100 years, and I eat meat. So, and people carry me in a coffin to the cemetery, and behind me they also carry like huge mountains from plastic I use, then huge mountains of bones of animals I ate, and huge intellectual pollution I produce, like films and interviews and all this crap. So it's disaster. When animals die, there is nothing remain. There is just nothing. And we have, I don't know, this COVID situation make me think differently. Every time I go out from my home, I clean everything, and I'm living. I don't have apartment. I mean myself. I rent apartment in Berlin. I'm renting it. So, but I'm doing it in a way that if I die suddenly today in the COVID, next person can come and start live right away. He doesn't need to throw away anything from me because there is nothing from me. I'm trying not to have anything at all. Just a couple of books. That's all. So I guess we are like, sorry, I had this pathetic speech. But I don't know. But I did not, just remember, I didn't put any words in the film, right? So that's why I'm talking. In the film, there is nothing. And people will see my film without words. So That's why I allow myself to talk a little bit.
No, and that is actually the next question that I wanted to ask, because it's clear that it's clear that behind the film there is some sort of activist stand, but still the film is very, very different from many other documentaries about veganism or the climate change, where you want it or not, as a viewer, you feel like you're being punished with somehow with the flow of disastrous images, like really sad truths and so on and so on. But then still, from my my point of view, this is propaganda in the best sense, because this is for like for the purpose that I truly believe in. But I wanted to ask whether, like, you being vegetarian since 4 years age, and like deeply believing in the need for change in our behavior, in our eating habits, and in general our attitude towards nature, isn't it difficult to stay away from this preacher sort of stand and still speak in the very, very subtle language? Because, to be honest, when I said that like many nature documentaries, they're really disturbing in their gore images that we see of the animals being killed and so on and so on.
Of course, it's
I think
yeah. I understand your question. It's like I against any propaganda, left or right, positive, negative. I against any propaganda. It's just against idea of art. You know, Leonardo was saying, Da Vinci was saying, there are three types of people. There are people who can see, there are people who can see if you show them, and there are people who will not see when you show them. And this is the people I want to make film for. I'm making film for people who will not see when I will show them. Easiest way to make film for yourself, for your friends, easier to make film for people who will understand what you say. And it's not easy to make film for people who will not see when you show them. And actually, I actually disagree with the idea that film is supposed to tell something. That's why I don't use words. Film is supposed to show something. And less I talk, less I use words, more people can see, in my opinion. And of course, if you make film about animals, first thing you can imagine, you have to go to slaughterhouse and to show the miserable condition the animals live. And like, it's horrible how they live, right? It's horrible. They live in cages in all life and without possibility to move. But those films exist, and in my opinion, they didn't do job. First of all, they didn't do job because people don't want to see this. But my job was to film animals how they are, not how we behave, but how they are. To pay attention to their personality, to pay attention that animal is not it, not something, but someone. And that's why, for me, important was to see them, to see uniqueness of each of them, and to try to understand them, try to spend time with them, really spend time with them, and to be friends with them, and to actually to apologize in a way. My one of the title I wanted to use, my apology, because I know I cannot change anything. I know I cannot convince people to stop killing them. I know I will not, but at least I can apologize. At least I can. But again, talking about, I will quote again Leonardo da Vinci, who said 500 years ago, almost even more, that to kill animal and to kill human is just act of killing. it's the same act of killing. So I don't see. This is what. Yeah, and first of all, in any case, whatever we talk about, we can talk about any subject again and again and again. Propaganda is wrong thing to do. Cinema is so huge thing, so important, so much bigger than any propaganda, much bigger than anything. Cinema is part of art. Documentary is part of art and part of culture, of course. And it's much bigger than any my idea. And on the top of it, I don't believe I am clever enough to teach you something. I don't believe what I know by myself. For example, I give you an example. I have no sense of humor in life. I'm boring person. I don't know how to make jokes. I'm boring. But in some of my films, there is sense of humor. There is funny moments, at least. There is moment. Same is, I don't consider myself like a clever person. But in some of my films, has some element of wisdom. And the reason is because if I just use my instinct, filmmaking instinct, I become better than I am. I'm more funny than I am in reality. I'm more clever than I am in reality. So this is why propaganda, no. Instinct, yes. Filmmaking, if there is some skills, yes. If there is little of talent, yes, but never propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Because like what I like the most in the film and what I appreciate the most in the film is probably something that you've just said about your true belief that actually all the living creatures on the earth, they're equal with the human beings. And this is something that you prove also in the form of the filmmaking, because even though there are no dialogues and there are no human beings on the frame, the film still consists of like very somehow, I don't know, understandable and recognizable dramaturgical aspects. We follow Gunda and the other farm animals the same as we would follow any human character in the screen. Can you tell a bit more about writing? I don't know if this is something that actually existed in your film, but then it feels like it's somehow the dramaturgy is there and it's somehow written in a way.
It's a good one. It's a good question, tough one. I actually never write more than one page. But in this case, I only knew the final. I kind of saw the final. I saw a few times similar situation, and it started 30 years ago. I was making film Belarus. And in the same village, it was the Soviet Union end of Soviet Union, 1991 or 1992, something like this. And it was in the village I filmed Belarus. It was a collective barn, like for cows, like 400 cows. It was like still. So the cows, they were in the field. And suddenly, when I was filming, I recognized that there is a fire in the another part of the opposite part of the village. So we ran there. We start helping people to stop the fire, but it was not possible to stop. It was too late. So then cows came. They actually came exactly 7 p.m. I don't know how they know, but no one knows how they know time. Cows know time. They know time without any mistake. So they come exactly in the time they're supposed to come without having any clock. So they came and they started, it was like a choir, like moo, moo, because they lost their home and they were totally confused. And it was not white nights, and they were all night working on the ashes of on their home, and they didn't know what to do. And And people also didn't know what to do with it. But it was such an amazing image. Like during the night, you see this smoke coming from the ashes and cows walking on the top of it and moo choir, beautiful chorus. So this is how it's grown in my conscious. Like I always wanted to make something about them. So, but have to write it. You cannot you cannot burn the house. You cannot put in the fire the burn. So you know, I guess Dostoevsky was saying that I wrote 500 pages about Raskolnikov, but I know 5,000 pages around Raskolnikov, right? So what I do, I talk to scientists a lot. I spoke with most important scientists who study animals. I didn't put it in the film, but I know it's important for me to know all of this. I know such all important studies made about animals, and so it's somehow inside the movie. It's not, you cannot find a direct connection to it, but of course I'm not comparing myself with Dostoevsky. Don't think I'm crazy. Yeah, I just say I am preparing myself a lot, but in terms of writing, I only knew that if you look to history of cinema, you don't remember stories, in my opinion. You don't remember stories. You remember unforgettable images. Your most important films for you, it's just you remember images, like, and texture with those images, like the symbols of images, and this is what you remember. That's why I don't believe in writing scripts for documentary. You are lucky. If you're lucky, you will be able to make 10, let's say 5 or 10 crucial, unbelievable, unrepeatable images, and then only your duty is to put them in the right position in timeline, to find which one is the first and which one is the second and which one is the last one, which one goes the last one. So, and this is how you create films. Not tell story, but to show something really important you never seen before. So I'm not sure, even I'm professionally educated as screenwriter, I never know how to write script because it's not true. This is the problem of documentary production in Europe specifically, because in Europe everybody knows the script almost never or more often has nothing to do with the actual film. And still, yet people ask to write script, to fake script. And then on the top of fake script, people making fake budget. Everybody knows it's crap, but still this exists. And unfortunately, I was trying to make revolution a few times against it, but no one supported me. Maybe next generation of filmmaker will say, enough is enough. Poor Michael Gallagher wanted to support me and he lost his life in Africa.
I'm sorry for that. We've got one question from the audience, and it sounds like this: why did you decide to make this film in black and white? What would you say it adds to film and its meaning? Just avoiding
It's a
colors
lot. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. First of all, it's unconscious knowledge that black and white has some importance. You know, if you watch archive footage, you know this. It's something like which survived for time, right? Which probably made 70, 100 years ago, but still alive. It means it has value. And it will have value in future, right? We have this unconscious idea about black and white. Second, of course, it's a tribute to to filmmakers like, for example, Gers Frank, who was making long shots and the story was inside the shot. It's the same as beginning of cinema, when it was not story, but story was inside the single shot. And third is, if you look to internet, it's so many adorable images of adorable animals. When you consider them adorable, like cats or like dogs, they're adorable. So if you see piglets, newborn piglets, they're also adorable. Yeah, it's so sweet. So, but if you take out color, you immediately see personality, each of them. Specifically in pigs, pigs has very small eyes. So they're very small eyes. So you don't see them when it's in color. You see like big Gunda and big blue sky and green grass in you. But if you take out color, you immediately see her eyes. Immediately see who is she as a person. So this was a lot. No, of course it was decision against production. It's good, but producers agree with me because it was in the first place, producers were like, "Oh, no one gonna buy it, no one gonna watch it." But in fact, by luck, I have good producers who understand me. Good producers who understand me.
Can you expand a little bit more about the production side? Because there is not only lack of color, but also the lack of music. And I think that many spectators are kind of curious about the like very practical issues, like how many cameras you had and how did you actually manage to film so that you do not disturb the animals and they can actually open up and show their this very rich emotional world that we see on the screen.
All right. Yeah, we filmed 2 cameras. We designed the house similar to Gunda's house, which she normally gives birth in, but we made it in a way that only lens can be inside the house and can move 360 degrees. Camera itself, and all my team, we were outside of, but the lens is inside and can move 360. Then important was to be friends with Gunda, and that's why we came like 2 weeks before. We spent time with her before she gave birth. So especially last week before she gave birth, we were coming every morning before she wakes up even. And when she woke up, we already there. So she considers that part of the family. When kids were born, we already were part of their family. So that's why they accept us. Music, we did not use music for many reasons. First of all, of course, if you have such ending, you can put violin or cello, people will cry, right? People will cry. So, but in a way, it's form of propaganda. In a way, a form of. So we decided, no, we rather to use Atmos sound. Money-wise, it was equal. So we decided instead of music to spend money to Atmos sound recording. So, and we kind of wanted to build partiture from sounds of that. We were trying to understand what animals listen and what they hear around them, and so kind of trying to. I don't know, how did you watch the movie? Best will be if you watch it with Atmos Cinema. I actually recommend to any young filmmaker, try to make Atmos sound because it's really revolutionary. This is very revolutionary, new things to use, and it helped even develop new dramaturgy actually. So yeah. And of course, I use one camera, but another camera, Steadicam, use my friend Egil from Norway. He is absolutely great Steadicam man. He has perfect understanding of dynamic situation. He feels emotion of situation, of changing situation. He feels if he can come closer, or it's too soon to come closer. He feels distance between camera and characters very well, and that's why film looks so dynamic, and because he was always moving them, but without disturbing them. So actually, he is extremely talented person, and it's very difficult name to pronounce.
We can see it in the credits. But I have one more question regarding the theme of the film. Maybe this is not exactly the theme of the film, but somebody that joined a little bit later, and this is Joaquin Phoenix. That actually we remember very clearly his speech when he received an Oscar, which was like really, really touching and reminding us about the animal rights and the way we treat them, mistreat them, and so on and so on. Can you tell a bit more how he joined as an executive producer of GUNDA?
Yeah, it's in a way very funny story. So actually, I hate him. It's so stupid to say. No, I wouldn't say I hate him. I was mad on him because a year ago, before Gunda came, Aquarela came to cinemas in the same very same day as Joker, and everyone, all distributors around the world were calling me saying, "Victor, we are sorry, but Joker killing everything. Like Joker taking all big venues and cinema screens, and all audience goes to Joker, and Aquarela is supposed to be in the big cinema, almost IMAX size, and in fact." Joker everywhere, Joker. And I said, what this Joker? Who is this Joker? I didn't even want to watch this Joker. So I was really mad at him. So when he made the speech in Oscar, my team started calling me saying, did you write speech for Joker, for Phoenix? I said, what? Did you write his Oscar speech? I said, no, I didn't. But he is exactly saying what you were saying to us. Every day before shooting, I'm from old school filmmaker, so before shooting, before every day we start filming, I was making kind of motivation speech, like a coach in the football team, like we can do it, guys. But I was doing it like why we are doing it, what. So, and probably I use same words. So when Phoenix make his speech, so we decided to send it to him the rough cut. And he watched immediately, and he called me saying, finally someone made film about animals, not about humans, but about animals themselves. So, and he said, oh, he wants to be part of it, he wants to promote it, and he wants to help. So in a way, it was kind of payback after disaster with Aquarela. So now we have a lot of things to do, and we have, it is really great connection with him, and I don't know what will happen next, but something will happen.
I'm glad to hear. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I would like to end this conversation with a personal question about because obviously Gunda had its premiere right before the pandemic struck the world, and I think that throughout this past year, the way we perceive the film also changed in a way. But I want to ask, what is your look for the future, and are you hopeful for the future and for the positive changes?
Yeah, for me it was important to, I guess it's important change for me through pandemic to be here alone and think, look to the table, look to my ideas and think, is it really important what I'm doing? Is it really, if I die tomorrow, which could happen any day, is it really important what I'm doing now? Is it really what I have to do? If it is my last film, is it really important thing? So I think it's filmmaking is the only thing we know about ourselves is we are getting older, right? This is only what we do, in fact. We are not doing anything else. We are just getting older, right? The rest is just complement. And how we're getting older, it's important. If you know the saying, when you're 20, you have face what God gave you. When you're 40, you have face what life gave you. And when you're 60, you have a face you deserved. Yeah, and I guess this is the thing. So we need to make it in a way that we have no need to cut out any films from our filmography in the end of the day. We have to live in a way that we don't need to say, oh, I didn't make this film. It's not me. It's not me. It just appeared in my filmography. So better not to make anything. So, and I consider filmmaking as a very powerful tool and like a gun machine. So responsibility is the main thing. So if you're not responsible, I guess we need to have this responsibility. Question of not to produce anything if you don't really need it. If you can stop yourself doing it, better not to do it. If you can't stop yourself, then probably this is important for you. So I feel we all will be more clever after pandemic. We will start live more conscious. We will be more. I hope we will learn something important, that we need to respect nature. Otherwise, nature will push us away, and we'll breathe calmly and happier without us, probably, because we are only destructive element. We destroy. We invented Kalashnikov, atom bomb, Novichok, chemical weapon, and all this torturing. We invented torturing, concentration camps, and all. Nature did not invent it. Only we. So maybe we have to rethink a little bit. Thank you very much. Good luck. Be safe. See you next time.
I share your hopes, and I want to thank you again in the name of the whole team of Vilnius Film Festival and also our spectators for joining us today. And I hope for the clear future and for the physical meetings in the next year, hopefully. Take care.
Thank you very much. Ciao. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.